Hello to the viewer or viewers of this video. First, let me ask you a few questions. Are you a celebrity fan? Do you spend hours watching their shows and even spend your energy and money on them? Now, let me ask you, how would you react if you got to know that your favorite star has deceived you? If you don't care, well, then you can stop watching this video, because I am going to be telling you some very uncomfortable truths about the notorious death-faking so-called celebrities out there. And so, let me begin. JonBenet Ramsay, child beauty queen, singer, dancer. She now has a new name, Katy Perry. Musician, model, actress. So-called Katy Perry has her fake birthday on October 25th, 1984, which is 6 years earlier to JonBenet Ramsay, the real her, born on August 6th, 1990. JonBenet's fake death was staged on December the 25th of 1996. Have a look at the multiple planetary alignment on the day of her fake death. But first, you need to know that the Hollywood is controlled by the Illuminati, and the Illuminati runs the CIA. And so it is nearly impossible for a celebrity to fake their death and take on a new identity without CIA involvement. The Illuminati plan major events to coincide with multiple planetary alignments. For those who may wonder why there is an illustration of multiple planetary alignments, an illustration of the planet positions on the date of the staged and faked death, this is the reason. This has nothing to do with astrology. It is merely signs in the skies, something that is mentioned in the Bible, in the New Testament. In fact, something the true Christians are to look for in the end times. Here is some information that would be extremely helpful in order to discern these signs better.
Let's begin with a quick summary of the meaning of the planets. What does each of the planets symbolize to the Illuminati? At the center of our solar system, the Sun represents the all-seeing eye, or the god of light. For the Illuminati, Mercury, being so close to the scorching Sun, represents the devil. Venus represents sexual promiscuity, what the world calls love. The Earth represents those being controlled by the other planets. At least that is the Illuminati interpretation. The Moon simply represents another goddess that the occult people worship. Mars represents war and military strength. To the Illuminati, it also represents the enemy. Jupiter represents personified divine authority. Jupiter represents the so-called divine authority that is currently manifesting through the Antichrist in the religious arena. At this point in human history, it represents the one seated in Rome, Anti-Pope Francis. Jupiter represents the false authority that also manifests in the feminine form through Queen Jezebel. The planet Saturn is personified by the Baphomet and the sower, who sows seeds. In these end times, Saturn represents Obama, who is the Antichrist, who rules over the political arena, the enemy incarnate, seated in the White House. Uranus represents the false heaven, the occult version of heaven. Neptune represents the beast coming out of the sea, the one who holds the trident. Neptune is just another symbol for the enemy. Pluto, the coldest and furthest planet from the sun, represents hell, or the false god of the underworld. The minor planet Ceres, located inside the orbit of Jupiter, represents harvest time, the close of the age.
While this may be difficult to believe, the fact that Perry is Ramsay, do not be concerned. I will share some more proofs with you. Ramsay and Perry share the same eye color, an icy cold greyish steel blue color. Ramsay also has very large eyes in relation to the rest of her face, and so does Perry, since they are the same person. They both have the same teeth positions. They share the same ear contours. They share the same color hair roots. They share the same upper lip contour and cheek dimples. They share identical facial expressions. They share the same skills, singer and dancer. Now, as for evidence tampering, the photos on Google Images have not only been flipped, but some of the most important photos, the ones that reveal the specific features of the ear contours, have been visibly sprayed over with Photoshop paint, and this tampering is clearly visible once the image is enlarged using photo editing programs. And the reason they are flipped is that Ramsay has an identifying mole on her neck. In addition, the quality of the photos of Ramsay in her youth has been deliberately and systematically diminished to the point where her identifying features are extremely blurry. Are we, the public, supposed to believe that there are only a handful of high-resolution images of one of the most photographed children in the last 2 decades? Of course not. The multiple blurred images of JonBenet are the result of evidence tampering for the purpose of covering up a crime. Sit through the video and I will lead you to the source of the ultimate proof. Now moving to the next death faker. Heath Ledger, an actor, now has a new YouTube name, J Knight. DAHB007, DAHB0077, DAHB00777, or simply 007. Mr. Ledger lost the role of James Bond 007 to Daniel Craig, and so this was his CIA consolation prize. Mr. Ledger was the Joker, or J, in the Batman movie The Dark Knight, and so he likes J Knight as a new YouTube channel name. Obviously, it is very difficult for Mr. Ledger to let go of his false realities, and his YouTube channel names reflect his very deep personal and psychological struggles, especially after playing the demonically possessed Joker character by actually summoning demons to manifest through his mere shell of a human being for that role. The CIA obviously don't mind exploiting a washed out actor who has severe spiritual and psychological issues. But Ledger's channel names are also just another example of how the Illuminati controlled CIA like to boast of their deceptions. After all, 007 was a British CIA agent, was he not? The CIA and MI6 worked together as one, just in case you didn't know that. And so the historical fact that Ledger mocks his listeners with the veiled 007 YouTube channel name, as he tells his listeners exactly what his CIA handler relays to him, is nothing more than a boast. Ledger's last film, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, is simply a Hollywood send-off for Ledger as he embarks on his new identity and new life as 007. Well done, Mr. Bond, or should we call you James? Heath Ledger was born on April the 4th of 1979. His faked death was staged on January the 22nd of 2008. Notice the multiple planetary alignment on that day. Bill Hicks, comedian, impersonator. He has been using a new name, Alex Jones, who is now part of the CIA fabricated alternative news-controlled media opposition. Hicks has a special op where he plugs the date 1776, uncoincidentally, the date the Illuminati was founded. The Illuminati run the CIA. The CIA hired Hicks to become Alex Jones, the name of a real radio personality who was removed from his position so that Hicks could assume his identity. The Illuminati used Hicks to boast of their plans and accomplishments by putting the name Alex Jones on their film titled Endgame, a historical documentary of the Illuminati's plans. Hicks is also paid by the CIA to plug the phrase, "You are the resistance." Hicks uses this CIA psychological operation on his listeners because that is what the traditional Americans want to hear. They want to believe that their traditions are being defended somehow. And the CIA used that weakness to draw Americans to that false patriotism and nostalgia triggering term, resistance. The original Alex Jones was born on February the 11th of 1974. Bill Hicks was born on December the 16th of 1961, and his faked death was staged on February the 26th of 1994. Paul Walker, an actor, is now in the process of representing himself with a new name. Notice how near the end of his last movie, The Fast and Furious 6, Vin Diesel, his close friend, casually walks out of a burning car like an Illuminati phoenix rising from the flaming ashes unharmed. This was an Illuminati sign to all Walker's friends that Paul Walker was also unharmed physically during the Hollywood staged fake death car accident, also known as predictive programming. The burning car exit was Walker telling his fans where they all could go, as he wanted nothing to do with them ever again. Getting caught on camera after his faked death gave the plot away. Paul Walker was born on September the 12th of 1973, and his faked death was staged on November the 30th of 2013. Micheal Jackson, transsexual transhumanist musician. She is in fact a woman and is now in the process of presenting herself with a new name. Did you ever notice how Jackson couldn't pull off a man's voice ever? Did you ever notice how narrow her shoulders were when she stood next to an actual male? Apparently, female DNA really didn't help her with a little charade. The title of Jackson's last album, Escape, gives away her plan. Perhaps if she hid herself a bit better at her fake funeral, it would have been a bit more difficult to prove. Micheal Jackson was born on August the 29th of 1958. Her faked death was staged on June the 25th of 2009. River Phoenix, the actor, now has a new name, Mark Dice, who is also now part of the CIA-fabricated alternative news-controlled media opposition. Like Bill Hicks' naughty little brother, Phoenix pretends to expose the Illuminati, all the while boasting of their works. A true Illuminati member, Phoenix, uses his man-on-the-street interviews to destroy the integrity of the average American in the public eye, thereby serving to justify the Illuminati Global Population Reduction Program. You know, the one carved into stone on the Illuminati erected Georgia guidestones. Phoenix's YouTube backup channel is called The Resistance. He gave it that name because that is what the traditional Americans want to hear. They want to believe that their traditions are being defended somehow. And the CIA used that weakness to draw Americans to that phrase and to the CIA-controlled government opposition frontmen like Phoenix and Hicks. On another note, perhaps Phoenix's greatest works in his YouTube video titled "Is Mark Dice River Phoenix? Do Government Shills Speed Disinfo to Confuse Real Truth?" Phoenix uses yet another alias YouTube channel, the Alien Fossil Project, to discuss how his other alias, Mark Dice, can't be who he actually is, River Phoenix. Watching Phoenix insult himself from multiple angles is truly a new genre of entertainment, like some sort of personal roast. Is that what you call it, River? For isn't it strange how Phoenix got so lost in his efforts to deceive others that in the end he ended up hiding in the shadows and insulting himself through yet another false identity? Mark Dice, his fake birth date is withheld. River Phoenix was born on August the 23rd of 1970. His faked death was staged. Brandon Lee, an actor, son of martial arts expert Bruce Lee. He is now Chris Green and is part of the CIA Alternative News, AMTV, or Alternative Media Television. It looks like Brandon's staged death of getting shot in the head while on a movie set was actually predictive programming for what his plastic surgeon would ultimately do to his face. And it looks like the K stands for Crow, the name of his last movie. Chris Green, his birth date not available. Wonder why? Brandon Lee was born on February the 1st of 1965. His faked death was staged on March the 31st of 1993. Jonathan Brandis, an actor. He now has a new name, Adam Kokesh, and is part of CIA alternative news platform Adam vs. the Man. Brandis thinks that he can hide behind a beard and a buzz cut. Not so. His baby face and limited acting ability have clearly revealed his true identity. The show is now over, Mr. Brandis, but don't let that stop you from trying to get absolutely any new guesses. Adam Kokesh, faked birthday is on February the 1st of 1982, 6 years later to that of Jonathan Brandis, who was born on April the 13th of 1976, and his faked death was staged on November the 12th of 2003. Robin Williams, an actor, death faker. His last film gives the whole plot away. He is currently trying to figure out how to represent himself. Perhaps a shaved head and a nose job? Robin, what do you think? Black shoe polish on your skin? Bingo, maybe suggest going by the name Buba. Robin Williams was born on July the 21st of 1951, and his faked death was staged on August the 11th of 2014. Elvis Presley, musician and an actor, a CIA death faker who died at a later date. You know, the one who just for fun would get all dressed up every now and then just show up at a look-alike competition. He is now deceased. Elvis Presley was born on January the 8th of 1935, and his faked death was staged on August the 16th of 1977. Jim Morrison, singer. He has been using a new name, Rush Limbaugh, and is now part of the CIA fabricated alternative news controlled media opposition talk show host. The fact that he has a massive mole that he just can't seem to get rid of under his left eye, compounded by the fact that he boasted about faking his death before the event and has familial ties to the CIA, make this an easy case to prove. Too easy, in fact. Rush Limbaugh, his fake birthday is on January the 12th of 1951. Jim Morrison was born on December the 8th of 1943, and his fake staged death was on July the 3rd of 1971. Joan Rivers, actress and a talk show hostess. Everything was going fine for Miss Rivers until she proclaimed from the rooftops, "Everyone knows that Michelle Obama is a tranny." Wanna listen to that?
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
a transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay.
A transsexual named Micheal.
You see, the Illuminati transhumanism LGBT agenda, transforming people into the opposite gender, opposing God's gender plan and design for each individual, is not supposed to be made public, especially that agenda fully manifesting in the White House in the bed of a homosexual president and his male lover, who Barry calls Micheal. By the way, Barry Soetoro is a real name of Obama. Unfortunately for Joanne, she could not keep her mouth shut while exiting a comedy nightclub recently, when the prominent people she was with were caught on video camera. Thanks for that little piece of gossip, Joanne. It was your best roast ever. Are you feeling the heat yet? We love your new haircut. It helped us match your ears to your earlier photos. Anyone have doubts that was Joan Rivers? The ears are a perfect photo forensic match. Need more hard evidence? The unique plastic surgery indents on her face, the short stature, the raspy voice, the celebrity caliber event, and the fact that the prominent people being videotaped drove away with her in the backseat should get you going. More proof can be found in the multiple planetary alignment that confirms the Illuminati's involvement in choosing her fake death date. This is not an opinion. Joan Rivers officially faked her death. That is an immutable historical fact. Joan Rivers was born on June the 8th of 1933, and her fake death was staged on September the 4th of 2014. Now for you listeners, are you convinced of these truths? If not, I'll share more proofs. The death fakers actually have a lot more in common than you could possibly imagine. People who betrayed their fans for money. That includes all of them. Self-obsessed, all of them. Psychopaths in their interior lives, all of them. People who have sworn allegiance to the devil, all of them. Homosexual Hollywood roles? Well, Heath Ledger played a homosexual cowboy in Brokeback Mountain. River Phoenix played a homosexual street hustler in My Own Private Idaho. Robin Williams played a homosexual drag club owner in Birdcage. Brandon Lee did not have a homosexual role that we know of. However, he does share the exact same name, Brandon Lee, as an Asian American homosexual pornographic film actor. Interesting to say the very least. What are the odds of that? Death staged in the middle of a film shoot. Well, Heath Ledger faked his death in the middle of filming of his Hollywood send-off film, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. Brandon Lee faked his death in the middle of filming his Hollywood send-off film, The Crow. Paul Walker faked his death in the middle of filming his Hollywood send-off film, The Fast and Furious 6. 6 of course being another form of Illuminati stamp, when they actually use it, that is. River Phoenix faked his death while shooting Dark Blood. Why deliberately stage a death in the middle of a film shoot? Because that additional free advertising means they get more money. The end of a Hollywood actor's life always causes their last film to get more sales. The people behind the fake death can go the virtual securities prediction market that has been given the name Hollywood Stock Exchange, wager on the success of the film before the faked death, and then cash out on the surge in stock prices after the fake death event spikes the success of the movie they wagered their money on. It is a variation on insider trading. There is already a lot of online chatter about how the founder of the Hollywood Stock Exchange has a striking resemblance to another Hollywood death faker. Don't waste your time looking at the plastic surgery scars, because there are thousands of Hollywood death fakers out there. After all, how many times have you watched someone fake their death in Hollywood in a movie? Rewarded with CIA-controlled alternative news platforms, using their fake names, that is, Rush Limbaugh, Alex Jones, Mark Dice, Chris Green, Adam Kokesh, and the list goes on. Leaking clues of their fake death plan before they died. Elvis's last film, Change of Habit. Michael Jackson's last album, Escape. Paul Walker's last film featured his best friend Vin Diesel walking out of a vehicle in flames. Jim Morrison talked about pretending to kill himself on multiple occasions before he faked his death. Ledger said, "I only do this because I'm having fun. The day I stop having fun, I'll just walk away." He walked away. Bill Hicks, of course, while on stage, boasted just before his faked death, "A check falls in my lap and I am a producer named Alex Jones, that is. They are worth more dead than alive." Michael Jackson's album sales skyrocketed as soon as her fake death was announced. Paul Walker's Fast and Furious franchise could finally put out their 6 DVD set for a whole new run of merchandising. Elvis's record distribution had the same results. Get the picture? The very lucrative picture of why celebrities fake their deaths? And that is before the CIA sets them up like Katy Perry riding on the top of a beast to tell the world who resurrected them. Moving on to their Illuminati names and parallels. JonBenet Ramsay, named after the Illuminati Egyptian god Ramses. River Phoenix, the name of the Greek flying creature that rises from the ashes, an Illuminati favorite. Lee's fake Illuminati name Green, the perfect match to JonBenet's emerald green photoshopped eyes. The Illuminati-run tabloids like to color JonBenet's eyes emerald green. And why is this? Because the Illuminati are in the process of propping her up as an incarnation of the goddess Isis. Notice how the CIA funded and run terrorist organization ISIS appears on the scene around the same time in history that Perry, in her music video Dark Horse, appears as the goddess Isis, standing on the very summit of an Egyptian Illuminati pyramid. That is not a coincidence. The color associated with Isis is emerald green. That is not JonBenet's real eye color. But the Illuminati make sure that everyone sees her photoshopped emerald green eyes. They make sure they see the young JonBenet version of Perry as Isis from her youth. Now, Michael Jackson's Illuminati transhumanist podium actually matches that of a transhumanist girl named Justin Bieber. I will lead you to more proofs on that. The transhumanist and Illuminati LGBT spokeswoman named Bieber likes to be presented to her audience while on tour wearing massive steel wings, just like Katy Perry wearing Isis wings in her Dark Horse video and flying around during the Super Bowl. Transhumanist Perry appears with transhumanist beast legs at the end of her video E.T. next to a naked transgendered female. Notice the waist indents points? That is a female, who is in fact a symbol of Michael Jackson. This is, of course, the ongoing Illuminati soap opera story that can be traced back to the end of Michael Jackson's video, Will You Be There? And here she is embraced by the winged god Isis on stage. Who ever thought JonBenet would actually grow up to be promoted as Michael Jackson's Illuminati spouse If you consider the fact that Jackson married Lisa Mary Presley, daughter of the most notorious Illuminati death faker of all times, Elvis, the evidence then really comes together like cement. Let's not forget how Brandon Lee's dark-winged crow character symbolically matches both Bieber's wings and Perry's Isis wings. And notice the similarity between Brandon Lee's crow face paint in his Exiting movie and Heath Ledger's Joker face paint in his Exiting movie. Notice how the corners of the mouth are extended, just as a plastic surgeon did to Joan Rivers. These people are mere ingredients in one big Illuminati soup bowl that is continually offered as a human sacrifice to the devil. And that is just another reason why their names are all green, reptilian, scaly green to be exact. They were all duped by their Illuminati taskmasters. They were told they would be lifted up on a pedestal to the devil. Now, you might be wondering how I got to know all these truths. I hold no credits. I will reveal the source. All that I spoke are mere quotes or excerpts from the website www.testimonyofthetoowitnesses.com. These are the end times, and the two witnesses mentioned about in the book of Revelations chapter 11 are here. Petrus Romanus and his wife Mary Romanus have been exposing many of the evils of this current generation, evils that are embraced by our so-called celebrity stars, political leaders, and even religious leaders. Jesus Christ, the Most High True God, has been revealing to them the top secret agendas of the Illuminati global leaders. I will leave some links to a few of their videos below in the description box, which will help you get a better idea, like these ones. The viewer or viewers will also need to understand that the Illuminati, that Luciferian and occult organization, are currently running the global governments from behind the scenes. Luciferian because, unlike Satanists, they actually worship the devil by name. They are also running the Vatican, the CIA, MI6 and Hollywood from behind the scenes, and that means that they are the ones who are ultimately in control of the script content. Every script, from Obama's to anti-Pope Francis's to the script of the latest movie and TV series. Obama is the Antichrist in the political arena, and anti-Pope Francis is the Antichrist in the spiritual arena. Jesus has explained this to us in detail through his two witnesses, and we really do not need anyone to agree with the true reality, as contrary to popular belief, as it is in not any way influenced or affected by opinion. Petrus Romanus is Pope Peter the last and final true pope of this era. That was just a simple summary of a small part of reality. The testimony of the two witnesses has changed my life. So, if you desire to know more, please visit www.testimonyofthetoowitnesses.com and learn about the current spiritual and physical realities that you are living in. It's your life. Don't get deceived by anyone. So, choose wisely.